In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to connect your IP camera to be viewable through a browser. Keep in mind it can be powered three different ways, with a 12-volt DC power adapter, a 24-volt AC, and also power over Ethernet. First, what we'll need to do is connect the Cat5 or Ethernet cable to the back of the IP camera. Next, we'll need to take the other end of the cable and plug it into a port on your router or your switch. And once you have that plugged in, next what we'll need to do is connect the power to the back of the camera. As I said earlier, we're using a 12-volt DC power adapter. First, we'll need to locate the positive wire on the 12-volt DC power adapter and plug it into the positive connection on the back of the IP camera. Now that we have the positive power wire inserted, let's go ahead and insert the negative power wire into the negative port on the back of the IP camera. Keep in mind, since we're using a 12-volt DC power adapter, polarity does matter, so make sure you get those wires correct. As you can see here, we have the positive connection and the negative connection, and of course the Ethernet cable. Next, let's take the plug-in and go ahead and plug it into a wall. That is one way to power up the IP camera. The next way we're going to show you how here is power over Ethernet. Let's begin by taking the Ethernet cable and plugging it from the back of the camera directly into the power over Ethernet port. And as you'll notice here on the back of the camera, the power lights for the Ethernet connection and the power lights on the right hand side of it have lit up. And that's another way to power up the IP camera without using the power adapter. Next, we'll need to plug in the flash drive that's included with the IP camera and open up the configtool.exe program. Once the config tool program is open, you'll notice at the top it should have an IP address listed. Keep in mind there might be more than one. What we want to do is locate the one that has the same MAC address as on the bottom of the IP camera. Next, you'll want to write down that IP address. Next, let's go ahead and highlight the IP address of the IP camera and click Login. You'll notice the username and password. If they're already filled in, that's okay. If not, let's type in admin and admin. Go ahead and click Login. Now that we're logged in, you'll notice the same MAC address listed here in the green bar at the bottom. What we want to do next is uncheck the dhcp box. This is going to make you keep the same IP address. Once you're done, go ahead and click Save, and go ahead and click OK on the confirmation. Next, what we'll need to do is configure our ActiveX settings for Internet Explorer. Let's go ahead and open it up and click Tools at the top, and then go down to Internet Options at the very bottom. Here you'll notice the Security tab at the top. Go ahead and click on that one, and look at the bottom, there should be a button that says Custom Level. Let's go ahead and click that. Now once we're in the Security Settings window, let's scroll down until we see the ActiveX settings. Keep scrolling through them here. And there's three specific ones that we need to concentrate on. Download signed ActiveX controls, download unsigned ActiveX controls, and initialize and script ActiveX controls not marked as safe for scripting. You need to make sure all three of those are set to the prompt option. And after we set all three of those to prompt, let's click OK at the bottom, and yes on the confirmation. And then go ahead and click OK to exit out of the Internet Options window. Now we're going to see if we can log in through our browser. Remember the IP that we wrote down earlier? Let's type that into the URL bar. And once you have that typed in, press enter. And here you should see the web service login page. For the username, let's keep that admin, and for the password, let's also put admin. And click login. Now that we're logged into the web service screen, you'll notice an ActiveX message at the bottom of the screen. What we're going to do is click allow on that, and you will be logged out. Retype the password, and let's click login one more time. Now once we're inside the web service screen, you'll notice you should have a picture now. let's go ahead and click the Set tab at the top, and on the left hand side of the screen let's click on Video. Once we click on Video, you'll notice another ActiveX message at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead and click Allow one more time on this one. It will log you out again, but keep in mind once we go through these you won't have to put them in again. If the IP address of the camera does change, you might have to go through and allow those ActiveX settings one more time, but generally this shouldn't be a problem. Now that we've got our camera focused and a good picture on the screen, let's go ahead and go back to the Set tab one more time. Let's go ahead and log back in. And let's click the Set tab. And let's go to Video. And this is the last ActiveX message here. Go ahead and allow that one. Username and password, log in, and you should be good to go. You'll notice here we went back to the Video tab, and there's no ActiveX message at the bottom. And that concludes our tutorial. Thanks for joining us.